Mexico, a country with beautiful scenery, people, and culture. But under the skin of beautiful Mexico is a complex system of organized crime.
Cartel violence is likely to increase in Mexico this year. That with the upcoming presidential election in Mexico.
But recently set its sights on Mexico City, and it's making those intentions.
Millions of dollars worth of dope seized. Everything from cocaine, meth, heroin, fentanyl, and even weapons, along with tens of thousands of dollars in cash.
El dinero que tengo aquí, yo no lo gané robando ni siendo narco. No siendo narco, sí.
In the labyrinthine annals of global crime, few names have stirred as much intrigue and fear as Joaquín El Chapo Guzmán and the Sinaloa Cartel, an empire of shadows that extended far beyond the borders of Mexico. At the heart of this saga is Joaquín Guzmán, better known as El Chapo, a name that became synonymous with the cartel's rise to infamy. From humble beginnings to becoming one of the most powerful drug lords, El Chapo's life is a study in ambition, power, and the dark underbelly of the global drug trade. El Chapo's notorious escapes from maximum security prisons captured the world's attention, but they also highlighted deep-seated issues within the justice system and the ongoing battle against cartel influence.
Guzmán makes the Mexican government look ridiculous. Pacing up and down in his cell, calmly, waiting. These are the last images of Guzmán before he makes the most daring escape in recent history. At one point, he appears to bend forward, focusing on something in the floor of the shower. Then, he sits down, appearing to remove his sandals. And then, he vanishes. We now know that under the shower was this hole, occupying a blind spot in the cell's CCTV cameras. Beneath it, a tunnel that was his highway to freedom.
If we went over everything El Chapo has done, this video would be 2 hours long. So we are going to briefly go over 5 topics that are directly connected to El Chapo. Drug trafficking. El Chapo's cartel was responsible for smuggling enormous quantities of cocaine, marijuana, methamphetamine, and heroin into the United States and other countries, using elaborate methods to evade detection. Tunnels. He was famous for using sophisticated tunnels to transport drugs across the Mexico-US border, and also for his dramatic prison escapes, one of which involved a tunnel from his cell. Violence. The Sinaloa Cartel, under El Chapo's direction, was involved in brutal turf wars with other cartels, leading to countless deaths and widespread violence, particularly in Mexico. Corruption. To facilitate his cartel's operations, El Chapo was known to have bribed officials, but most of these officials were most likely going to be executed if they denied any type of bribery. There was one man who would never accept any type of bribes and would actually make cartel members wear dresses and even go as far to making cartel members perform homosexual activities on each other. What happens when someone with the same mentality as these Kingpin joins the Marine? This conversation will be for another video. Moving forward, last thing El Chapo is directly connected to is prison escapes. Chapo is perhaps most famous for his prison escapes, the first time being in 2001, where he escaped by hiding in a laundry cart, and the second time, which we mentioned earlier.
Into a ventilated tunnel, tall enough for a man nicknamed Shorty to stand up straight. There was even a motorcycle to speed him away until he climbed out almost a mile south of the prison into a half-built home. It was an elaborate ruse. The work crews weren't building anything. They were digging the drug warlord out.
The reach of the Sinaloa Cartel extends far beyond its operations, affecting communities, economies, and law enforcement across the globe. The human cost of this sprawling network is immeasurable, with countless lives lost and communities shattered in the wake of its operations. Yet, in the face of adversity, there are stories of resilience and hope. Communities coming together to rebuild, and authorities working tirelessly to restore peace and justice. After escaping from a maximum security prison in 2001, El Chapo managed to evade capture for years, living a nearly mythical existence in Mexico. He was known to travel with an extensive entourage of armed bodyguards, using bulletproof vehicles and sophisticated surveillance technology to stay ahead of law enforcement. His capture in 2014 in Mazatlan, Sinaloa, was a significant event, likened by many Mexicans to the fall of other major criminals like Pablo Escobar and Osama bin Laden. However, El Chapo managed to escape from prison once again in 2015 through an elaborate tunnel, only to be recaptured 6 months later and eventually extradited to the U.S. in 2017.
¡Ey! ¡Cúrate! Tenemos un herido. Aguas. Mata eso. Aquí va esta. Aguas. Dale, vas. Lánzala. ¡No! Lánzala otra. Lánzala. Ven, chaparro. Chaparro, date vuelta. Chaparro. ¡No! Entra. Busca la escalera. Voy. Entra. ¿Tienes? Hey. Voy. Entra. ¿Dónde salió? Búscalo.
El Chapo is currently serving a life sentence at ADX Florence in Colorado, also known as the Alcatraz of the Rockies. This maximum security prison is known for its rigorous security measures, and no one has ever escaped from it. Guzmán has a history of escaping from prison, which makes the security at ADX Florence particularly important in his case. His interactions with the outside world and other prisoners are highly restricted, and only a few family members are allowed to meet with him. The tale of El Chapo and the Sinaloa Cartel serves as a stark reminder of the complexities and challenges in the fight against organized crime. It underscores the importance of global cooperation, the strength of communities, and the unyielding pursuit of justice. As we continue to seek solutions and foster dialogue, let's remember the power of informed awareness and collective action. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, please consider subscribing for more content like this.